to write my personal statement, because it was just like I have so much to say, I did so much, but what do I do? So I'm gonna let you guys know how I wrote my personal statement. I'm not gonna post the whole thing here because I'm afraid of plagiarism, and also it's a little bit personal, but I want you guys to see some examples of what I feel like is a good personal or a strong personal statement, in my opinion, from my experience. Results may vary. You need to be able to explain why you want to be a dentist and not any other medical profession, not any other profession at all. Why you don't want to be an actress, why you don't want to work at Chick-fil-A, why you don't want to be an architect, an engineer, a fashion designer. Like, you have to explain why dentistry. And if your essay does not answer that question, if you write all of that and it can be applied to any other profession, I would suggest you re-evaluate that essay. How I started off, brain vomited everything. So first I listed out all my extracurriculars, my experiences that I had that kind of shaped my experience. I started talking about how I grew up. I'm Nigerian. I started talking about that. I started talking about how I grew up in New York City before I moved to Texas. My volunteer experiences and my work experience, as well as the research I did. The way I talked about it is what's important. They already have your resume. They already see all your extracurriculars. So if you go in your personal statement and just literally list out everything you did in sequential order or in chronological order, they're gonna get bored, because they'll be like, okay, I knew all this already. What I always tell people is be specific. If anyone else could take your personal statement and use it as their own, then you didn't do a good job, because it's not a personal statement. It needs to be very unique. For example, I used to work at an urgent dental care office in Houston. So I talked about a specific patient that I saw there. That was an example. But you don't want to do a cliche thing and say just like, the patient chipped their tooth, the doctor fixed it, and they were happy. Now I want to help people because I saw that the dentist made them happy. Like, something like that is just not, it's very generic. A lot of other professions can do that. So you really have to get in depth about how that moment is an example of how dentistry changed your mindset, changed that person's life, and then how it can help society as a whole. This all sounds like a lot, I know, but I feel like when you start writing, you'll kind of have a better idea. If you went through any challenges at all, like if you're like me, you moved, if you're an underserved minority or came from a diverse background, if you had a tragic accident. I feel like I lived a very normal life. There are a lot of people that went through the craziest hardships of their life. Like, some people have really inspiring stories, and I kind of felt like my story was very generic. I had a pretty normal childhood, I had a pretty normal family home, and it's like, how do I stand out? You just have to sell your experience, like, oh, your journey, and then make